Undefeated is intended for audiences age 18 or older. This visual novel contains scenes that include intense graphic violence, flashing lights, substance abuse, and strong language. Reader discretion is advised. So we had a really bad day in the cafeteria. And honestly, Xander might be like me in terms of anxiety. I don't think, like, I tried to say this to friends, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that kind of happens when there's just a lot of noise." I'm like, I don't think they realize it. I don't think they realize like how bad this is. But I mean, it's hard to explain anxiety to other people. Anyway, my eyes flutter open to see an empty room. A silent room, too. Redline's laptop is still open, but he's not here. Guess he went for that walk after all. I want to get out of here. Out of this room. Out of this facility. Just out. I need some fresh air. At least Redline's not here to bark some story at me. I really don't know if I can handle chat right now. It's hot. I throw my covers off and roll out of bed. The door opens and I step into the empty hallway. Did I sleep until dinner? There's that stairwell to my left. I might as well take that down. I push the door open and step into the elevator. The elevator closes. There's no buttons, but it starts moving down soon enough. It doesn't move for a long time. Coming to a stop. The doors slide open and reveal the stone arena I fought in earlier. Good. If I'm here, maybe I can win and leave. Or maybe someone can kill me. Either way, I won't have to deal with this anymore. This fight, this league, this whole miserable life, gone in an instant. No more pain, no more fear. Oh boy. It's dark and it's chilly. The padded gloves on my hands make me realize I'm in my fight gear. Did I sleep in this? The door on the other side of the arena is still closed. I'm standing at the end of the ring, waiting for the elevator door to open. It feels like forever, but it finally does. Bruce is there, stomping straight through the ring toward me. He says some baseless taunt I can't bother to pay attention to. I have to end this. His hand moves before the bell rings, sweeping from the other side and clutching my neck. Before he can lift me up, I send a punch straight to his jaw. My right arm doesn't respond. It's limp at my side. I can't move it. When did that happen? I'm lifted up. He must not be holding my neck tight because I can breathe just fine. My legs kick out trying to damage his midsection, trying to stop him, but somehow, anyhow, Bruce doesn't react. He just grins. See you soon, kid. His forehead moves closer and fast. It's almost like I blinked and missed it. The blinding white flash in my vision and splitting headache, however, can't be ignored. I try to cry out, but nothing happens. His head rears back again, and then I think I move again. It's hard to tell before the searing pain strikes through my skull. There's a dull buzzing sound ringing through my ears. Bruce pulls his head back. Another flinch, another empty cry. Another strike stacked onto my forehead. There's a bit of blood splattered onto Bruce's forehead. Bruce doesn't even blink. Stop. I feel something break my skin splitting open like a piece of old fabric. The splash of blood on Bruce's forehead has grown. That buzzing is louder now. Let me go. The pain is too hot to register. I can't move. I could hear my skull crack with that last headbutt. There's blood dribbling down my muzzle. Bruce's head looks raw. Please. I close my eyes before Bruce can pull me in again. My body spasms and I sit up. I'm in my bed. In my room. Well, our room. My hand moves to my forehead. There's a soft patch of fur and warm and solid. No blood. Any pain that was there is quickly fading away, dispersing throughout my temple. I'm alive. At a glance, Redline is gone. His laptop is closed and his chair against the end of his bed. My shaky hands come to rest against the bed, my heavy breathing finally starting to slow down. I hear that buzzing sound again. My phone. My body shifts, and I reach for the nightstand. I unplug the phone and turn over to look at the screen. My blood runs cold. Dad. 2 missed calls. The fur on my nape of my neck prickles, trailing a chill down my back. Why is he calling? Why is he calling now of all times? It's usually just been a text here or there, or a stray message on Friend Book. Because we can't say Facebook. Now he wants to talk? I've been staring at the screen for so long that it switched back to sleep mode. The glass reflects my own face back into me. My eyes meet my own for a moment. They look sad. They look so tired. I flop back on the bed, blowing out a sigh as the phone drops to the comforter next to me. Dang. 6 minutes. What the fuck am I going to do? Bruce is a no-go, and the commissioner has complete control over the roster. My options are to beat Bruce, speak with the commissioner, or break my contract and spending the next 50 years paying out the ass for voiding the legal document. I'd rather not leave here, more poor than I came. And beating Bruce is probably impossible, right? So I'll have to talk with the commissioner. I'm sure he wouldn't want a death on his hands. And I'd really rather not die if I can avoid it. So that's the next plan of attack. What else am I supposed to do? The phone next to my head starts buzzing again, and I shoot back up into a sitting position. A mixture of fear and rage well up from the pit of my stomach, reaching the tip of my antlers. You have antlers? I pick up the phone without looking at the screen. What the fuck do you want? There's a brief moment of silence from the other end. Alex? Oh my God. I look at my phone screen for the caller ID. I don't recognize the number, but it's not my father. Hey, Doc. Yes, this is Drayden. Calling for Alex? That's me. Hey, Alex, are you okay? Another sigh from my mouth. Yeah, no, I'm all good. Just had my mind wanders back to the caller ID. Just a bad dream. Spooked me pretty bad. I hear you. Stressful situations can mess with your subconscious. And explain mine. I don't really know how to answer that. There's a few seconds of silence that lingers between us. Well, hey, so I've got your physical therapy session scheduled for tomorrow. Can you swing by after breakfast? I don't want you exercising before we make sure it's all healed up. So we'll get it checked out, and if it's looking as good as I'm hoping, we should be able to clear you fully. Sound good? Sounds good. I'll see you after breakfast. Probably around 6 or so. The cat lets out a laugh. 6 a.m.? Listen, you exercise types might be good at waking up early, but I'm kind of on a different schedule. How's 9 o'clock sound? I can't help but breathe out a chuckle as well. For some reason, I find myself standing up, slowly pacing down the center of the room. Sounds good. I'll see you then. Drayden agrees and hangs up from his end. I slide my phone back into my pocket. The room is silent yet again. My hands come up to rub my slowly waking face. I cannot fucking believe I answered the phone like that. Drayden probably thinks I'm insane. I literally just told him a few hours ago I was fine. He seemed pretty calm about it, though. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You're definitely overthinking it. But holy fuck, dude. That's so embarrassing. Redline lets out another one of his signature high-pitched laughs. A few stray bits of food flying out of his maw onto the tray. He must have noticed, too, as he covers his mouth and takes a second to finish swallowing. Thanks. I'm a bit surprised I managed to run into him after my nap, though. Granted, I just sort of sat around and played on my phone for a while. I wanted to preserve the solitude for as much as I could, but I couldn't just really justify spending more time doing nothing in my room, despite Drayden's orders. It was pretty late in the afternoon, but not really time for dinner, so I wandered back to the mat rooms. There was obviously a lot more people this time around, so I got a chance to observe a good amount of men practicing. Redline actually found me as he was leaving and invited me to eat with him after. I managed to get to the cafeteria pretty early, thankfully, before it got too crowded. And I ended down a swig from his water bottle, piercing a spear of asparagus and a slice of chicken on the same fork before shoving it into his maw. I'm honestly surprised that cell service even reaches this far down. We're, what, 20 stories underground? Something like that. He covers his mouth again, swallowing quickly before speaking again. I'm not sure if you noticed, but they actually tampered with your phone a bit. I could feel my face contort. What? How? Redline takes another forkful of food before talking. I wonder how long it'll take him to learn to swallow before speaking. It's nothing serious. Another swallow before he continues his response. He's still twiddling his fork impatiently. Maybe I should just let him eat and get answers later. They got it outfitted with this like special internet data thing. Basically, the whole facility has a really strong wireless internet. The special bit is that they can monitor like everything that goes on the network. Oh. So, dang. He takes another dang. So, if they just... So, oh my God. So, if you tell anything that goes on down here, you're screwed. You probably get reprimanded and whatnot. He takes another bite. I should butt in before I get another spray of chicken. So they can see everything we do on our phones? But it's not really a big deal. Like, it's to just make sure you don't do anything illegal to breach a contract or anything. Or, talk shit about the league. Another high-pitched giggle. Seems like he's not too concerned about the breach of privacy. I would be. Well, especially considering that I'm reading this in 2026. Where privacy is like one of the top hot buttons. One of the top hot buttons of culture right now. But if you're concerned about like porn and stuff, I wouldn't really worry about it. I'm friends with a bunch of people down here, and they can be pretty open about what they're into. Sometimes, yeah, I'm friends with a bunch of people like that too, and sometimes I think they're too open. That laugh seemed almost nervous, a little more unhinged than his regular laughs. Some of it's pretty fucked up, dude. Yeah. He's getting louder now, even by the cafeteria crowd standards. I lift both my hands slightly and lower them gently, trying to signal that he needs to quiet down. Redline doesn't seem to notice and stuffs his face with a few more chunks of grilled chicken. I can imagine. I know a few guys from my old work tried to get me into some weird stuff. Like, what? Like, snuff? Oh God. Oh man. I don't judge. I'll just say I don't like it. I nearly coughed up a mouthful of the water I was holding. Jesus! No, Christ! The hyena just laughs. I can point out that 4 in the calf right now that would be into it. Oh, God. Oh, dude. No, I'm keep away. I'm keeping away from them. Being perfectly honest. I almost want to turn around and look to see if I can figure out who he's talking about, but there's a lot of people here. It'd be hard to identify anyone. Yeah, there's certain things I'm just like, no. I go back to picking up my veggie chicken salad. I thought you were vegetarian. Never mind. It must just taste like chicken. I'm not sure I want to know who those are. That's fair. I'm not one of them, if that's what you're worried about. I don't think you could kill someone if you wanted to. Hyena laughs while I take a sip from my water. I would never. Fighting's fun and all, but I'd never be able to forgive myself if I actually damaged someone. He stabs the last chunk of his chicken. I mean, permanently? Black eyes are one thing. Losing an eye is another. My body shudders at the mention. I haven't mentioned the details of my dream, the red line, and I don't really plan on it. Granted, I didn't lose an eye, but I'm pretty sure I lived through getting my skull smashed in. I'm probably more fucked in the head than I thought if that's the kind of shit I dreamed about. Look, I just had a dream of everything in my life being exposed, and then about to get robbed. So, I don't think come on. I doubt we're not competing here, but still. I can't keep thinking on this right now. I can feel my skin crawling. Redline probably notices my silence. So, got any plans after dinner? No. Great! You can let me show you around the facility then. I force down the last bit of my salad and take a swig of water. It's not like I can do much else here until you do, right? Redline stands up, quickly grabbing his tray. That's the spirit. Come on, little buddy. Little buddy? I wipe the scowl off my face and follow Redline to drop our trays off at the trash table, then out to the cafeteria doors. Redline is standing outside the main doors, facing the opposing wall with hands on his hips. His head is cranked in one direction, looking down the hall. He's got the same goofy smile on his face, almost like he's lost in thought. So, Xander. Yep. What do you want to see first? I feel like I could answer that better if I knew what was down here. Redline spits out another high-pitched laugh. Good point. Good point. We've got a library, a pool, some exercise spaces. Those all sound equally interesting. Where do I want to go first? Oh, I get a place cool. Someplace cool. Library sounds nice. Let's go see the pool. These don't feel like choices. Let's see. I don't know, maybe they got a computer. Library sound. Redline's ears twitch at my answer, but his gaze doesn't change. Sorry. Actually, it might be better to go this way. More efficient. I mean, we can hit all the different stuff on the way there. Come on, dude. I said library. He's like, no. He starts moving down the hall away from the cafeteria. What the hell was the point of asking me if we're just gonna go down the way he wants? Just another thing I don't have any choice in down here. I follow suit, sticking close behind Redline as he moves past the stairwell, across the hall from the cafeteria. Aina leads us both down the hall a short distance, stopping in front of a room with a bunch of exercise equipment inside. The machines being used are being used by a number of men, with the room full of various different species of varying sizes. They're clearly working up a sweat. The gyms! Welcome to them. Well, sometimes we call them the weight rooms. I mean, I call them the weight rooms, but only the ones that have weightlifting equipment. And what do you call the ones that don't have weightlifting equipment? Redline rolls his eyes, but smiles all the same. I told you, those are gyms. Come on, Xander, keep up. God. I can't help but glare at him as we continue down the hall a few steps before Redline stops dead in his tracks. Oh, oi, Bucky! There's a group of older-looking men walking down the hall, us chatting amongst themselves. Huh? At Redline's call, one of the men turned his head towards us. His face breaks into a smile, and he departs from the group to meet Redline. Oh God, I need a voice. Pause real quick. Hey, Red! How you going? He wastes no time to get close, nearly diving forward to wrap his arms around the taller man's waist in a hug. The kangaroo chuckles tenderly, following suit as his arms envelop Redline. He's still smiling. Their hug lasts for a few seconds while I stand there in semi-uncomfortable silence. No one around seems to notice, so I guess it's not out of the ordinary for them to give hugs. How's the leg treating you, Red? All good? Redline steps back from the hug, his tail providing a nice breeze wagging rapidly behind him. I actually have to step back to keep it out of my way. Yes, sir. Sorry to worry you. I got some ice on it for a bit and it's as good as new. Kangaroo claps Redline on the shoulder and smiles. Hey, great to hear, man. He turns his head to me. And you? I feel like I've seen you around. New here, are you? Redline turns, standing between us and looking at me. Oh, right. Xander, this is Buck. Bucky. Coach Bucky. He's the trainer for a few of us lightweights. Bucky nods and smiles. I work with other weight classes too. I heard we were getting some fresh meat. Didn't know it'd be so soon, but we're happy to have you. It's good to meet you, Xander. He extends his paw, and I meet it with my own hand. Buck or Bucky? The kangaroo gives a short chuckle. My rule is that it's either Coach, Bucky, or both. Anything else, and it's 100 push-ups. And Redline. Another laugh, this time a little louder. He reaches out and ruffles Redline's hair. This pup's done his fair share of payment, and then some. Can't seem to break the habit, so he just ends up doing a little more work in the gym. Redline, whose tail is going nuts at this point, leans into the paw with a goofy smile strewn across his face. Yes, sir! Plus it helps build more muscle, so why wouldn't I take the opportunity? I ought to up my rates if that's your rationale, Red. No, wait, wrong. I ought to up my rates if that's your rationale, Red. Oh, what do you think? What, you don't think I can pay up? And what if you can't? His eyes have a sort of sinister hue to them. Their shape narrowing down at the hyena. Redline, however, has his eyes wide open. Name your price, Buck. The hyena was standing on his tiptoes to get closer to the kangaroo's face. Bucky simply leered down, still smiling. Next time you fumble the name, 20 minutes on the jump rope. You're on, Buck. The two of them nearly have their noses pressed against each other. They're still smiling though, so it can't be genuine taunting. Still, this is either the worst matched face-off I've ever seen or the closest I've ever been to a really specific porno. I look forward to seeing it tomorrow, Red. I'll be keeping track. Bucky's voice had a bit of a lilt on that last sentence. Giving off his teasing intent. The two separated with laughter, with Bucky's hand moving up the ruffled Redline's hair as he turned to me. And you? I shake myself back into the conversation now that it had been addressed. Will you be joining us in class tomorrow too? Bucky's voice is cheery, almost hopeful that I'll be present. I give a half-hearted shrug and gesture to my right shoulder. Not sure if you saw my fight the other day. Got a dislocated shoulder, so I've got physical therapy in the morning. Kangaroo nods in understanding. A few more men walk down the hall, patting Bucky on the back. He greets them in passing before looking at me again. I'm sorry to hear. As much as we love to put you to work, we can't have a fighter with a busted arm. You rest up until you're cleared, and we'll get you right back up to speed, alright? His paw bumps Redline's backside, and he nods to us both. I've got to head out. You two have a good night, yeah? With a short hop that turns into a trot, Bucky jogs down the hall towards his cluster of friends. I watch him go and turn back to Redline. The smell of the weight rooms is still very fresh, just people are still trickling out. Probably finishing their routine for the night before heading down to the cafeteria. He starts moving forward, and I follow suit subconsciously. What do you think of Bucky? Bucky was nice. It was pretty nice to meet someone that's not talking down to me. Someone that hasn't really tried to insult me yet. Though I don't think Redline or Drayden intended to come across as offensive, so maybe I shouldn't be so hard on them. Hopefully they can learn to think before they speak. He's alright. Is he hard on you guys? Redline lets out a cheery laugh. Of course! I'm not really averse to working hard, but the way he confirmed that already has me feeling exhausted. But hey, now I can do 100 push-ups without breaking a sweat, so I'd say it's worth it, right? Can't really argue with that. I haven't seen the results myself, but that sounds like what a good trainer should do. Maybe just the thought of working with my damaged arm. Now I'm not sure I'm looking forward to the next class. I'll have to make sure I don't mix up his name. Shouldn't be an issue. But with how casually Redline throws it out, it's almost like he does it on purpose. Some sort of masochistic exercise routine. He chats at me for a bit as we walk through the growing sea of sweaty men before reaching the end of the hall. There's a number of closed wooden doors lined across the wall to our right, a staircase to our left, and a short hallway. A heavy chlorine scent wafted from that direction, so I'm guessing that's the pool. He points down the hall. Is that way? I'm not sure how much of a swimmer you are. Not too often. He cocks his head. Oh, really? Any reason why? I shrug. Just never been a big fan. Deer aren't bad. Oh, he's a deer. Like, the picture just makes me think he's a wolf. Deer aren't bad swimmers by any stretch, but it's never really been something I've taken to. It's like running, but with heavy equipment on. I could just be doing that instead of having to keep my head above the water. You're missing out! I love a good swim after a heavy day in the gym. Water rinses all the sweat out and clears my mind. And they have a hoop and a beach ball in there, so it's nice to dunk on some of the other guys in the water basketball. Can you actually do a slam dunk? He fidgets for a second before a nervous giggle is first out. I mean, I don't actually dunk the ball. I'm not tall enough, but I like to think I'll get there someday. Someday, Redline. I gesture to the series of doors. There's a weird kind of lighting focused against the wall, almost like it's trying to draw attention to itself. And this? More gyms? No, this is the entertainment wing. Well, they call it the enrichment center, but that makes it sound like we're lab rats. It gives a bit of a non-committal hand wave, accompanied by a high-pitched sound of confusion. I was gonna say animals, but yeah, basically. A weirdly sterile name for a place like this, but maybe it's just to sound impressive. Redline's already gone ahead to the entrance of the wing, so I follow suit. It's a library. God, this looks as boring as, as that one high school's library I went to. Enrichment Center is a pretty pretentious name for a normal-looking library. Redline's standing with his hands on his hips, smiling as wide as ever. What do you think? I feel so enriched. His laugh jumps out at me. I should be used to how sudden it can be, but it must be more surprising in the silence of the library. The rest of the people sitting around reading must have also not expected the sudden laughter, judging by the generally angry looks on their faces. It's definitely not as stocked as your standard library, but it's got a lot of non-fiction stuff. Like history books? He tilts his head. No, more like self-help. Learning books. Books that you learn from, textbooks and stuff. Looking around, there are a lot of people reading at tables. A few of them have some notebooks, scribbling down notes, having some quiet discussions amongst themselves. I follow Redline as he moves out of the library, passing by the raccoon fellow I saw earlier. He's got some sort of art tutorial book open next to a notebook, scribbles strewn across one page. We go through a door opposite from the pool that leads down to a unique-looking hallway. Modern architecture, pretty impressive lighting. It stands out from the rest of the facility so far. At the end of the hall is a grand-looking steel door that looks like it was designed to blend into the wall. There's a black panel on the wall to the right side. Redline steps up to it, tapping the LED screen light. Okay, cool. Looks like it's free for a few hours. After a few taps, the door slides open. What the? The bright light burns my eyes before I have the chance to turn away. Once I manage to adjust, Redline leads me through to the open door to a giant deck hanging over a beach. Behind us, the sun shines down, filling the space with glorious light. I barely notice the change in temperature, but I can tell it's a bit warmer in here with the way my shirt gently sticks to my body. This is the immersion chamber. My hand grips the railing, tracing along as I move the length of the deck. My eyes close and I take a moment to breathe in the salty air. The cold breeze flittered past my ears, twitching from its influence. The sound of the waves crashing against the shore. The warmth of the sun on my fur. I try to soak it in as long as I can. Pretty cool, right? It's beautiful. It's alright. I don't remember seeing anything like this on the promo material or contract. Or anything, really. Redline's already moved up next to me, hands on the railing as he looks over out to the sea. Yeah, well, so this area is kind of reserved for higher tier fighters. We're not really supposed to be here. I frown. It's okay as long as no one's booked it. People don't really mind if I'm here. But yeah, people who host parties or post-fight celebrations or whatever, really, in here, sometimes they'll invite me. It's pretty cool. They even decorated for the holidays and stuff, too. How does this work? We're underground. He moves backwards towards the door. There's a black panel along the side of the inside of the room, too. That's right. So this screen controls basically the whole room. Time of day, temperature, wind, tide, you name it. But when the simulation is off, with a few taps, the sunlight fades away. Dang! Dang! Oh God! No! Put the texture back! No! Put it back! Put it back! Put it back! I don't want to go. Actually, the whole skyline disappears, replaced with a dull white light. The waves turn still, resting calmly against the sand. There's no more wind, and the heat has started to turn into a familiar temperature that's shared with the rest of the facility. I can feel my heart sink as everything turns sterile. Quiet is nice, but for a few seconds, it's deafening silence. As quickly as the scenery had vanished, it returns, the sound of the waves splashing once more flowing through the air. And like I said, the time of day. A few seconds pass and the sun dips down below the horizon. With it, a fake moon rises on the opposite side of the room. So it's not real. Redline moves back to where he was before, standing next to me along the railing. Well, no, like you said, we're really far underground. Kind of hard to get any real sunlight down here, but it does a good job at imitating it. You could probably get a tan if you stayed out long enough. I've been trying to block Redline out as he spoke, my eyes closed as I take in the ocean air again. The cool breeze, the salty scent, the sound of the waves. None of this is real. I will say, it's missing something. He has a really good habit of breaking my concentration. Can't really put my finger on it, but it's just uncanny enough to bother me. I miss the real thing, too. But hey, the view is nice, right? Look out to the fabricated sea. Yeah. We stayed there for a while. That night, I dream of the ocean. All right, go ahead and pull. My hand wraps around the elastic band, pulling gently across my chest, then returning it back to my side. Maybe I should stop here, because it is another day. Well, another big event passed. Alright, we'll stop. I'll see you guys next time. Where I guess we're going to go through recovery.